Hello everyone, here we are inside of the performance testing project once again. Now I've already made a few changes to this based upon the principles that we've discussed earlier. And if I go to the recipe management dashboard, we'll see that this report loads instantly, that this loads much faster, but we still need to improve these particular actions right here, as these are taking a little bit longer to load than they should. So, as far as what's been improved here, this used to be a flow inline field that was being used to calculate this folder ID. However, we have gone in and changed this from a calculated column to just specifying the folder ID. Because recipe is going to be a case entity, we have access to that folder ID automatically within the columns, as you can see here. This is what improved the performance of the report loading. Additionally, in getting our count for our dashboard, which is through this simple tile here, this used to contain this particular rule collection filter step that would filter the results after the fetch entities was run. However, this is not necessary to fetch a count of these records, as we can just fetch the count directly by fetching the entities and applying a filter to any of those entities that we need to display. We do not need a separate filter step for this logic. As far as the items that still need to be worked, we have determined that the slowness is coming from this particular flow that's being called via this API. And we can see that same flow show up here, here, and in here. So let's go to that flow and understand what parts of it are impacting the performance. So here we are inside of that flow. The first thing that needs to go is this delay step, as we don't need that for any reason to delay the results from starting from our call here and then putting our outputs over here. Additionally, we have a rule collection filter step over here that if we look into is filtering those particular entities by a user submitted email and to check if an entity is implemented or not. And that entity is going to be each recipe. Now we don't need a rule collection filter for this logic. We can use a filter step instead. Now this filter list step is going to allow us to execute that same logic that we put in here, but we don't need a rule to run it. So by replacing this, this is going to allow our flow to run much faster. We also have this flow that is calling a run flows for list and our fetch recipes, and the run flows for list is being utilized to output the backlog of recipes. However, this is not necessary, as if we were to go into here and pass out this list of collection, we can go directly into our output list here, take it from our rule collection, and then pass out all the recipe name. And this would pass out our list of strings that will get our backlog. So now that we've made these changes, let's start a new profile session. We'll call this our recipe dashboard. We'll hit OK. And now let's click on our recipe management dashboard. And we get our count and our output for the next item to be worked. If we click on the work backlog item, we're going to see that this loads almost instantly now. So now that we've done that, let's go and make sure that we download the text view of that session and we can compare it to our results. You'll want to make sure that you compare the particular flows that we outlined from last time, or processes that we outlined from last time, and confirm their performance after running the dashboard and its actions after our changes have been implemented. This is the process you'll want to follow for your projects as you're building them out, and continuously implement good design practices from following this 5-step guide. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope this helped.